Hi everybody, this is Robert at Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we're going to show you how to create an email campaign in the new interface in eEdge. Not much of the mechanics have changed, it's just some of the arrangement and colors and names of things have changed in the interface, and we know that some people get confused when our videos don't exactly match their screen, so we're making a new one here. Our first step, of course, is going to be to get logged into mykw.kw.com, and we're going to be working in the eEdge control panel. We're going to be making an email campaign inside eEdge. There are a couple of ways to get to the list of where we can create a campaign. I'm going to take you the long way and then the short way. For the long way, this is the way I prefer to do it, just so that we understand that the email campaigns are inside eEdge. Same with my contacts, same with my leads, same with my listings. They're all inside different parts of eEdge, and you can get from one to the other once you're inside eEdge. So the long way I'm going to go is under my contacts. I'm just going to click on View Contacts. And then once we're in here in View Contacts, this is one of the main things that's changed recently. Market Leader has changed this menu up top to make it a little bit more simplified, easier to find everything together. Once we're in My Contacts and reviewing the list of our contacts, up in the top right, we're going to click on Marketing, and then we're going to click on Manage Campaigns. So this is going to be the list of our campaigns. You may have more or fewer campaigns. Everybody's going to have this monthly newsletter. It's not one that we can remove, and you can decide whether you want to add people to it or not. We're not worrying about the monthly newsletter this time. We're going to be creating a new campaign, and that would be with this button up here in the top right. But I'm going to show you the short way to get to this page, which is, again, inside eEdge. It's the same eEdge as your contacts. So again, from our myKW homepage in the My Marketing section, if we click this plus sign next to My Marketing, we've got this second link here that's Manage and Create Campaigns. And you should note that this is the same page we were just on. This is the list of our campaigns, and we have this button up on the top right where it says Add New Campaign, and that's what we're going to click on. Once we're here in the list of campaigns, your list, if you're watching this in the future, will more than likely look different than mine. That's okay, because these are sorted by the most recently updated. So this is the 2017-18-12 Direct. So this is the most recently updated one that Market Leader has put out. So we're just going to choose that one. 12 Directs are really simple. While we're on the topic of 12 Directs, I do want to let you guys know that there are three basic kinds of campaigns. First one is the simple 12 Direct here. That's one email per month for 12 months. So one email in January, one in February, one in March, blah, blah, blah. The second kind is a 33, or actually I guess it's not showing the 33s first. Second kind is an 8x8, and these are specifically targeted to buyers or to sellers. These are for people that you want to kind of kick in the seat of the pants to get them to either sign a buyer broker agreement or sign a listing agreement to actually work with you. This is 8 touches over 8 weeks, 6 emails, and 2 phone calls. So it's got 3 emails, then you make a phone call, then it's got another 3 emails, and you make a phone call. This is the most condensed, concentrated type of campaign. You probably wouldn't want to put everybody in your database on an 8x8 because you'd be making a whole lot of phone calls. But also many of them might get tired of hearing from you because they're not really in the market right now. They're not even close. This is for people that are thinking about maybe in the next month or two buying or selling, and that's an 8x8 buyer or seller. And then the third basic kind is a 33 touch. This is again for 1 year, but it's up to 3 touches per month. Some months have 2, some have 3. This is a combination of emails and phone calls. There are 2 or 3 emails and then a phone call, and then another 2 or 3 emails and then a phone call. For these campaigns that have phone calls, it provides the script for you to use for that phone call. And the way it reminds you to call those people is up here in the top right in reminders. You're going to have your little bell icon with the number next to it, and that's the number of reminders you have for that day. You'll also be notified in your daily alert summary email. We're going to be making a separate video about those reminders and the daily alert summary and things like that in just a little bit, but for now we're just going to focus on creating the campaign. So we've got our 3 basic kinds, and we're going to create just this first 12 direct. So we're going to choose this template. Once we're inside here, there are 4 basic steps to creating a campaign. First one is giving it a title, and by default it's just going to name it the default that the system has, but you can change this title. So I usually like to put created 21/18/0129, so created January 21st, 18. Then you have to save and continue. Any changes you make in a campaign you have to save. Then we've got down here review and configure steps. So this is where you're going to see the actual emails or phone call scripts that you're going to be sending out or using on the campaign. This is only emails, so this is showing us what the emails are going to look like. You can change the subject out for the subject line on the email. If you click on the little image here, you'll see a preview of what the email is going to look like. This is going to be the content, and it's going to put your picture and your information and your logo and your website and all that stuff at the bottom automatically based on what's up here in my account. And then if you want to make any changes to the content here, we would close this and we would click on personalize over to the right. I'm not going to get too into the editor here, but you can make any changes to the text. You can change out pictures. You can make them bigger or smaller. You can exchange this picture for a different one, upload one, or use one of the ones that's already been uploaded. And then once you've made those changes, you would want to click save. Now, one note about changing these campaign templates here is once you make that change, anything that you change over here in my account, like your picture or your logo or your information, is not going to be automatically updated on the saved version of your campaign step here. That's instead going to go here into Manage Designs, and you would need to manually update your picture or your information if that changes. So keep that in mind when you're making changes to the campaign steps here. Once all your campaign steps look the way that you want them to, and you can preview any of them, see what they look like with that little image there. Let me close that. Once they all look the way that you want to, and then the last step in any campaign is a reminder that this campaign is over, add this person to a new campaign. Once you got them looking the way you want, you would click Save and Continue. And then we're going to jump down to add or remove contacts. And this is one of the ways that you can add a contact to a campaign. There's actually four or five ways to add a contact to a campaign. I'm going to cover all of those. This is going to be kind of a longer video. This is this is the first way to create a contact, or excuse me, add a contact to a campaign, and that's while you're creating the campaign. You can either add groups, which it has by default here. I can add, these numbered groups here, and these are all, we did a test of how many groups you can have, and we found out from Market Leader that's up to 1,000. But say I wanted to add this entire email group to this campaign. Now, everybody that's in this group called email will automatically start receiving this campaign. And then if I add new contacts to my database and add them to this email group, they will automatically start receiving this campaign. You can also go up here to contacts in the top left and add contacts one by one. You can click on your add button and add them to the campaign, and they'd start receiving that when the first step gets ready to go out. You can search up here in the top left, or you can go by status. And I do want to point out this checkbox that says show only eligible contacts. That means contacts that A, have an email address. You can't send emails to somebody that doesn't have an email address. And then B, they have not unsubscribed from your marketing campaigns in the past. So if they've been on a campaign before and they clicked on that unsubscribe button in the bottom of the campaign email, you can no longer add them to any campaigns and the system won't let you. It's pretty foolproof that way. So if somebody has already unsubscribed that way, you don't have to worry about accidentally adding them to a new campaign, because the system won't let you. Once you've got those people added, I'm just going to add a couple here, you would save changes, and this is going to save both what we did in groups and what we did in contacts. Then we'll save changes here, and it's going to show you here we've got 2 contacts on the campaign and 1 group, and if I wanted to change any of those, I would click on the View Manage, and I can switch back and forth between those tabs again. I'm going to cancel that now because I didn't make any changes. The last step when you're creating a campaign is to review and activate. And this will normally pop up. We're not sure exactly why it does this. This is warning us that we haven't clicked the Save and Continue button under the Review and Configure Steps step. But we have. We saw me do that, and you did that yourself. And this is, I'm not sure why this alert pops up, but we can click Continue. So once we're in the review and activate step, this is the last most important step, because if you don't do this, these contacts will not start receiving your campaign emails. So the first one, this checkbox here, is required in order to activate the campaign. You'll notice as I click and unclick this checkbox, the Activate Campaign button turns on or off. I have to have this checked in order to activate this campaign. And this is agreeing to market leaders' policy of all these people signed up to receive emails from me, and the emails that I'm going to be sending them look good. I'm not going to get mad that the emails look a certain way because I made sure that they looked good before I sent it out. And I didn't buy these email addresses from somewhere, and where I bought like 10,000 email addresses for $100 and I'm going to spam them. This is saying that I put these contacts in here myself and I have asked permission to be sending them automatic emails. And then the second checkbox here is optional. This is where if you go to listings and you click on market my listings, this is going to show the list of your listings, or if you've added your MLS ID in the MLS section, or your office's listings if you've added your office's ID in the MLS section. And you can check which of those listings. There's a simple checkbox for ones that are showcase, and this checkbox is going to show those showcase properties at the bottom of each email step. Typically we recommend leaving this checked. You're welcome to not do that if you want to, it's up to you, but this one is required. Now I left this until last because this is a new-ish feature. It's actually about 2 years old now that I think about it. But this is telling the system when the contacts are finished receiving the messages in this campaign, then automatically add these people over to this other campaign that I've already set up, which the monthly newsletter is the one that's in there by default from Market Leader. It's an automatically updated thing. You're welcome to leave it that way. Just add these people to the monthly newsletter when this campaign is done. That's a good way to do it. Or say you've got you're set up an 8x8 buyer or an 8x8 seller, and you only want to contact these people once a month after that. So you would create this 12 direct, and then you would go create the 8x8, and at the end of the 8x8, you would tell it, okay, when they're done here, add them to this 12 direct that I've already created. You're welcome to do that as well. Once we've got this checkbox checked and you've made these decisions about whether you want to do that, and you can send it to no, what's that called, additional campaign if you want to, then you would activate campaign. So now on the date that the first step is going to be sent out, or after X number of days, depending on which type of campaign you've chosen, then it'll start sending those email steps. So that is how you create a campaign. So let's talk about adding and removing contacts from a campaign. So I already showed you the first way to add contacts to a campaign. That's when you're creating the campaign. You go to that third step, add or remove contacts, and you can add them either via group or via individual contacts. If you're in your list of campaigns, which again is under Marketing, Manage Campaigns, if you're in your list of campaigns, there's another way to do that by clicking over here under Groups. It's not under Contacts, but you can add contacts when you click on Group over here. So this is showing me that I've got one group assigned to this campaign here, and I can add additional groups here. And then I would save changes. I can also add additional contacts and then save changes. So now it'll update and show me that there are 6 individual contacts and 4 groups on this campaign. That's the second way to add contacts to a campaign. The third way is we're going to go to contacts and then all contacts. We're going to go to our full contact list. And then you can add multiple individual contacts to a campaign without them being in a group. You can check the box next to whoever it is you want to add to the campaign. You do bulk update, and we're going to edit the records and continue. And what we're editing is groups or campaigns. And instead of adding to groups, we're going to add to campaigns. And we're going to add them to this 12 direct that we just created here. And now it's only going to show active campaigns here, and we'll talk more about active campaigns in a second. And then we would update now. There we go. So now those 4 contacts that I selected have been added to that campaign. If we go back to the Manage Campaigns list here, if any of them weren't already on it, now that number is going to be updated to 7. It looks like 3 of those were already on the campaign. And then the last way to add a contact to a campaign is again from the All Contacts list. If you're in an individual contact, there we go. Let me scroll down here to Megan. If you click on an individual contact's name, you can add them to a campaign a couple of ways. One is up here in the top right, More Actions, Add to Campaigns, and then it will pop up and show your campaigns, and you want to make sure to add them to an active campaign. If the campaign says completed or new paused or inactive, those campaign messages will not be sent. Only active campaigns are going to be sending email steps. So you want to only add people to an active campaign. So I can add her to a campaign right here, and then we can close that. And then the other way from inside a contact is if you scroll down to the bottom to the campaign section and expand that, click on it to expand it, it'll show you what campaigns they're on currently. And so it's showing me that she's already on this 12 direct, and we're welcome to do that. It's just showing us that it's there. Or you can add contact to campaigns right here, and it would show you again at your campaigns, and it would show you would want to add them to the active campaigns. This is not showing our 12 direct that we just created because this contact is already on that campaign. But if it were in the list here, you just click add, and that's it. That contact is now on that campaign, and they'll start getting the next step of that campaign. Now that we've got contacts added to the campaign, it's basically the reverse process for removing them from a campaign. So I'm going to go back to my Manage Campaigns list here and show you in about the same order. You can remove contacts from a campaign really easily by clicking on where it's showing your number of groups here. You can either remove the group from the campaign from here on the right, or you can remove individual contacts from the campaign over here. There we go. And then you would save changes, and now we've got fewer contacts and fewer groups in that campaign. Again, if we go back to the All Contacts list, we can check the box for a couple of contacts here, do bulk update, edit the records is what we're doing, continue, and then we're changing groups or campaigns, going to come down to remove from campaigns. And if I check the box for this 12 direct, the contacts that we've selected here are going to be removed from that campaign that we just created. There we go. And then the last way is, again, from inside an individual contact. You can either more actions. Oh, it's not under more actions. Scroll down to the campaign section. If there were a campaign here, in fact, I'm going to add her to a campaign really quickly just so we can see what that looks like. There we go. If there is a campaign in this list here, you would click on the X in the blue circle over on the right, and voila, they're no longer part of that campaign. Now, this is not the same as unsubscribing a contact. We have a separate video for how to unsubscribe a contact from all future emails from you, and you can check out that video. Just shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we can send that to you. This is not unsubscribing them from all campaigns. This is just removing them from that one individual campaign or however many campaigns that you remove them from here. This is not the same as unsubscribing. You could potentially add them to new campaigns in the future. And then the last thing to cover about campaigns, we're going to go back to our Manage Campaigns list here, is how to delete a campaign. Really easy to delete a campaign. We just click on the name of the campaign, and we're going to scroll down to the very bottom to the Review and Activate step, and over here on the right we've got Edit. And then again in the Review and Activate step, we've got Delete. Now before I do that, I want to show you a very important thing. Let me go over here to Review and Configure steps, and I'm going to remove this part of the subject here and save and continue. Now if I would go to the Review and Activate step, and yes, I can continue. Now that I go to the Review and Activate step, this box is now unchecked. So now this campaign will no longer be sending campaign emails even if I had previously activated it. Making changes to the Review and Configure steps section here, changing the content of your emails or the subject, automatically inactivates the campaign. So if I go up here to Marketing and Manage Campaigns, it'll show me that this campaign is inactive. That means no campaign emails are being sent to the people that are on this campaign. You have to either click Edit or click on the name of the campaign, return to the Review and Activate step, this bottom one, recheck the box that says I have reviewed this campaign, its recipients, and then activate campaign again. And now if we're in the list of campaigns, it's showing me that this campaign is active. And then if I click this switch, that's going to make it pause. That's not quite the same as inactive. We haven't made any changes to the content of the campaign. It's just not going to be sending until we click this switch again and turn it active. Check the box, activate campaign. There we go. So then how to delete a campaign is you click on the name of the campaign, scroll down to the very bottom to our Review and Activate step and click Edit. And then in the bottom right here, we've got this delete link. Click on that, and yes, we want to delete the campaign. So now it's going to take me back to my list of campaigns, and that campaign is no longer there. That should be a fairly comprehensive guide on campaigns. If you guys do have any questions about that, feel free to shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. Thank you and have a great day.